Before we can meaningfully understand any one country, we need to understand the world it exists in. Countries do not begin from the same starting point. They inherit different histories, different institutions, and different relationships with the global system. Some operate within favorable geography, stable trade networks, and long-established institutions. Others face structural limits imposed by location, demographics, or climate. Without understanding this wider context, country-level analysis risks becoming simplistic or unfair. This episode is to give that overview and comparison before we deep dive into the ocean of each country information. The world today is home to more than 8 billion people, spread across nearly 200 countries. But this population is far from evenly distributed. Asia alone accounts for well over half of humanity. Africa is growing rapidly. Europe's population has largely stabilized or declined. These differences matter because population size and growth shape economic demand, infrastructure needs, and long-term development paths. When we talk about global averages, we often overlook how concentrated humanity truly is. Population alone does not explain national pressure. What matters just as much is how people are distributed across land. Some countries are geographically vast, with relatively small populations spread across large territories. Others are far smaller but densely populated, placing intense pressure on housing, transport, water, and public services. Population density helps explain why countries with similar population sizes can face very different challenges. Economic comparisons often rely on total output, commonly measured as gross domestic product, but total economic size and income per person describe very different realities. Large economies may generate enormous output while millions remain poor. Smaller economies may produce far less in total, yet provide very high living standards per person. Understanding this distinction is essential for interpreting economic success and economic failure. Demographics shape national futures in ways that are difficult to reverse. Countries with young populations must create jobs, expand education systems, and build infrastructure at scale. Countries with aging populations face shrinking workforces and rising healthcare and pension costs. These pressures influence growth, stability, and public policy for decades into the future. Education is one of the strongest long-term predictors of national outcomes. Its effects are gradual, but they compound over time. Countries that invested early in broad access to education tend to adapt more easily to economic change, innovate more effectively, and sustain higher living standards. Where education investment lags, inequality and low productivity often persist. Climate responsibility is often discussed using total emissions. But this view alone can be misleading. Large populations naturally produce higher total emissions. High-income societies, however, often emit far more per person. These distinctions are critical when discussing responsibility, fairness, and feasible solutions to global climate challenges. All of this complexity needs to be analyzed in a perspective. Energy use per person in every regions, from small countries with high consumptions to bigger countries with land mass and less population with less consumptions. Consumption based on population is what is shown here on a regional basis. We will deep dive into this furthermore when we further explore the problems on a country basis. Consumption versus GDP comparison further clarifies this understanding. The limits on what countries can achieve. Some face chronic water scarcity. Others are exposed to floods, droughts, or extreme heat. These risks exist regardless of governance quality or economic policy, and they shape development paths in fundamental ways. Understanding geographic constraints helps avoid unrealistic expectations. Countries rarely perform equally across all dimensions. A nation may score highly on income, but poorly on sustainability. Another may excel in education, but face severe environmental limits. Single rankings collapse this complexity into a misleading hierarchy. In today's interconnected world, national outcomes are shaped by global systems. Trade links economies together. Migration redistributes labor and skills. Energy markets and climate systems cross borders. As a result, national challenges increasingly become global challenges. In the episodes ahead, this global context will serve as the foundation for deeper country analysis. Each country will be examined through its current situation, the problems it faces, the underlying causes of those problems, and the possible paths forward. Always within a global perspective. The goal is not judgment, but understanding. This is World Solutions.